In front of you, you're looking at the 2019 Ford Expedition. Next to it, we have the 2022 GMC YUKON Denali. The Ford Expedition is my personal vehicle, and it's in a platinum trim. Okay, so let's keep in mind that the YUKON is 3 years newer than my vehicle. 2022s do have some significant changes on these. So the point of this comparison is just to see what I would be looking for in a new vehicle. So this gives me a very good comparison of what is out there now compared to what was out there when I purchased my vehicle. Okay, so I'm going to go over some similarities and some differences. Okay, so first and foremost, my 2019 Ford Expedition that I have has a V6 twin turbo engine. So where the YUKON has a naturally aspirated V8 engine. So the horsepower and the torque in between these two are pretty similar. In terms of acceleration, you really can't tell the difference between the two. Okay, so now let's talk about the similarities between these two vehicles. They both have wireless charging for your smartphone. They both have panoramic sunroofs. And they both have all LED lights all the way around, the front and the back, all throughout the vehicles, as well as 360-degree camera views, front and rear parking sensors, as well as auto-deploying step sides. But we'll show you that when we open the doors, and that way you can see them both. So you can see how the grille on the GMC and the Ford, the newer models, they both have similar grills going on there. So it looks almost like a honeycomb on both of them. These grills are only available on their premium models, such as the Denali and the Platinum. Okay, so now that we're looking at the back of these vehicles, one thing that you'll notice if you're looking at the YUKON is that it has full air suspension, whereas the Expedition has coil-sprung independent suspension. In the YUKON, I was able to compare how the road felt, how the drive, the road noise, and they're pretty similar. When the drive setting is set to off-road, the YUKON was definitely smoother. On normal setting, it was smooth, but it felt sort of tight, kind of heavy. But once you put it on the off-road drive settings, it definitely smoothed the feel of it. So I wish my Ford had that option, but it doesn't. It has some different drive settings. The settings are more for traction than for comfort, so I wish it was more for comfort, honestly. But in the off-road setting in the YUKON, it does raise the stance of the YUKON. It'll raise it up to its highest setting. So I'm going to walk in between the two vehicles. They both have 22-inch wheels, and they both have very similar tires. So the Denali is 1.5 to 2 feet longer than my truck. So this is where, when I was driving with JD, riding in the truck with him, that's the first thing I asked when I first saw this Denali. I asked, will it fit in the garage? And he said no, so that was bad news for me. Okay, so now let's take a look at the back. Most people are going to be concerned about the storage space in between these two different vehicles. So let's take a look at them. All right. So on the lift gate, it has an adjustment where you can either have it set to be a little higher or lower. This one has a knob on the inside on the front. Right now it's set at about 3/4. Mine, you could actually set it by pushing the button up on the top. So as you can see, the room looks similar as far as the back goes here. Just keep in mind, the third row is up on the YUKON, and the third row on mine is not up. It's actually folded down. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and lift my third row up, and I'm going to go ahead and press my button here. That's for that side. For the left side, I'm going to raise the right side. Okay, so here's the back of the Ford Expedition with a third row up, and that's how much space you have. And I'm going to compare it to the YUKON. YUKON has quite a bit more space than mine, so I really love that it has more space, but unfortunately in my garage it will not fit. Otherwise I'd get a longer vehicle. The controls to raise and lower the seats are pretty similar to each other. So you have the controls here. Okay, and then you have some storage down below here. So I guess you flip that up and you have some storage right in there. It's not too deep, but there is some storage, which is nice. A lot better than mine. Now on this one here, It's got a slope right here. There's no pockets versus mine, and I'll show you the difference. On mine here you have, let's see what we got under here, what kind of storage I have. Okay, so on my truck it has these pockets here, and they're pretty deep, and there's quite a bit of stuff. There's a cup holder in there as well, and then it's got the controls for the seats right up there, and it has pockets over on this side also. And on mine there is some storage space in here, so it's got the option to put to use this as a cargo stop. So once it's on the up position, so it just sort of rests on these little hooks here on both ends. Then you also have the option to flip it up and make it into sort of like a deck position, and this is only if the third row is up. So this is the amount of storage that you have down here. So we have just not too much space. It's not that deep in here, so it's about yay big, and then there's a container under there, but it's some storage. And then this is what it'll look like if you use it in this position. Let's take a look at the inside of the Ford Expedition, and just to kind of go over my likes and my dislikes. So on the Ford Expedition, this does have the bench seat across. So we have the baby seat in the center, and it does have the third row right back there. Now we rarely use the third row unless we have a lot more family with us. So, but other than that, I love the fact that you can take 8 people versus 7 people. It did take a while for us to find a Ford Expedition with the bench seat in the center. So I just really wanted the baby to be in the center for as long as possible. So the Ford Expedition, it does have the option to slide the seat out, and then these seats actually recline on both sides. Okay, so even with the car seat in the center, it does allow you to recline both of them. Plenty of leg room. It's got these pockets. Now mine didn't come with the entertainment package, but we added our own. To me, I feel like the Denali has more leg room, but I'm not too sure. That doesn't mean that it does or it doesn't, but I just feel like it's a lot more roomy. So it has controls back here. You can control the AC, you can control the radio or satellite, whatever it is that you have. It has several vents on the top. So you have the vents here throughout, and as well on the top on the back, which I really like, because on a hot summer you don't just want 2 small vents down here like on JD's truck. I know it's the big difference, this is an SUV, but on his truck it's super hot because you only have 2 small vents here. So I'm going to take a look at the back seat of the Denali. Okay, so here it is, this real nice trim. Of course they both have real nice trim. Here are the step sides, here that. Alright, so now both of these also, they can go back and they both recline. Real nice features. So it's pretty much the same space. It's got these pockets. Now this Denali does come with the entertainment system, and you do have the controls back here. So you do have also for the AC as well as radio, and it does seem like it has pretty much the same amount of space, but to me I just felt like it was bigger, or it just feels like it's more roomier, only because I'm thinking it doesn't have the bench seat, so you have all this space in here, which I really like. I'm starting to like it a lot. And here we have the back seat. So you have your third row, little cup holder there as well on both sides. And it does also have a couple of vents right there, one there and one up here, versus the Ford Expedition has some up on the center as well. And then you have them up on the tops. It's nice. Now you have the automatic step sides here that come out right here. So of course they both have the nice trim. The seats, you know, they recline, they lift, they have massage, versus the Denali does not have the massage feature, but on mine it does. And here you have the dashboard, and then you have your phone charger, your wireless phone charging right here, and I'll show you on the Denali where theirs goes. And then you have your cup holders here, then you have some more cup holders back there, They're really nice vehicles. I really like them. My screen is an 8-inch screen versus the Denali has an 11-inch screen. So what I like about my truck here is that it has a lot of the buttons that you could still reach out and push versus everything being so techy being on the screen. With my screen here, it's pretty easy to navigate through. You can find your options. You can find them pretty easy. I wish that the Ford Expedition had a deeper pocket up here, maybe this a little further back, a little bit deeper, so I can put my purse or my bag or whatever it is, versus all this wasted space right here. I really wish it had deeper pockets. So let's take a look at the Denali. It's really pretty trim, real nice vehicle. It also has the auto step side here, so I really like that feature. One thing that we didn't see is if it had the pedal adjustment, which for me, since I'm not that tall, I would definitely need the pedal adjustment. On the Denali, we couldn't find if it had it or not. I mean, it may have it, but I don't think we found that it did. These buttons here, it's to tilt the steering wheel up and down, further or closer. Beautiful interior. So this one does have the 11-inch screen. Now on this vehicle, the dash is pretty high, so I'm sitting in here now and I'm going to try to adjust the seat to see if I'd be able to see over comfortably to where I'd feel comfortable enough to drive it. So this it's okay, but I would much rather be on a higher position. This is the only downside for me, is that the dash is a little bit higher than the Ford. It's beautiful, very clean, very straight line. It's just a little bit on the higher side. So even sitting on the passenger side where it drops down there, it's still a little bit on the high side. But it's a beautiful vehicle. So it has one glove compartment versus two. On some vehicles it'll have two. Here's where you have your park, your reverse, your neutral, your drive. I mean, you have your buttons here, so it's pretty cool. You just press the button. So you have your cup holders here. This is a nice deep pocket. This is your wireless charger right here for your phone, your wireless phone charger. So that's pretty neat. I probably wouldn't use that myself. I would just probably place my purse or my bag in here. So you have your controls right here, and these controls are nice. They feel a little bit on the light side, but they look really pretty though. So this is the 11-inch screen. So these are all of your buttons here where you can find your menu. So it was a little bit difficult to find. I mean, once you learn them, that's okay. But when you're driving, you want it to be a little bit easier, or that's my opinion anyway. Just something kind of quick. You don't want to take your eyes off of the road. But beautiful screen, kind of techy. Just a little bit on the busy side for the buttons. Now here is the tag for this. So not sure if you can see that. So the MSRP on this is $88,245. Now this vehicle has a lot of safety features, just the same as the Ford Expedition. It's got beautiful, nice safety features on it, which I really, really like. And it's very roomy. You've got your controls up here, and now this one here, you can push this down and then you get a rear view camera on there. This is pretty neat. This is a really, really nice vehicle. So after driving around in this, I love that it's very easy to travel in. And I am considering now, maybe if I do get a new vehicle here soon, maybe I'll go ahead and get one with the captain chairs on here. I just hate losing a seat, because then you always have that 8th person that wants to come with you, and there's no room for them. So in my truck you can fit up to 8 people. It feels like a bus sometimes, but it's got the room to do it. Overall, this is a beautiful, beautiful truck. The 2022 GMC Denali, YUKON Denali. I mean, it's absolutely gorgeous. Like I said, I felt this ride was a lot quieter on the Denali compared to my Ford. Now my Ford is smooth and it is quiet, but you can hear the road noise a little bit more than you can on the Denali. And I wish my Ford Expedition had a quieter ride. It's not too loud, honestly. But so now this lets you know if your battery, if the button is on here. So there you go. In my opinion, I love a very smooth gliding ride, quiet ride. So that's the only thing that I wish my Ford had. It's quiet, it's smooth, but not as quiet as the Denali. But anyway, guys, I really hope that you like this video. I just wanted to sort of give you my opinion just on the difference. I know there's a 3-year difference on there, but just wanted to give you my opinion on there. But beautiful, beautiful Denali truck here. Still think about getting one. So anyway, guys, I hope that you subscribe to my channel. I'll be doing reviews on all sorts of things. So if you have any ideas on what types of reviews you would like me to do, or maybe on products or vehicles, just let me know. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.